in the Overwatch League especially. Right? There's Taimu. Looking handsome as ever. Skip it forward, come on. Right. I don't think Junkertown is a very good map in the Overwatch League. Okay? Some people think that it really, you know, that you want to have a place where Bastion can be played, where like Bastion and Orisa can really shine. It gives Bastion players a chance to play Bastion somewhere where they won't get flamed. Okay. My issue with it is that it doesn't give you very clear results on which team is better than the other, because the attacking strategy, once it gets rolling, is so dominant. And so you ended up with this match where the score just went to ridiculous heights. This is the right match. I'm hoping this is the right match. It all blurs together after a while. Now, this was also a really nice showing from Valiant. Valiant were impressing sort of throughout the start. People had underwritten Valiant slightly, and for a number of reasons, just because in preseason they didn't look that great, but they had to play without Agilities, who's one of the sort of star DPS players. It's also like you're mingling in people like Soon and Unco are probably very used to communicating in French. Now they have to communicate in English. Kariv is like, in my mind, Kariv is like like a baby boombox, like he's pre-boombox. So it's like, Kariv I think can get there at some point and will be very strong. So Valiant have a lot to prove, right? Now what is interesting to me, just to sort of talking about this game, is the rise of mono support lineups. I'm really excited by this because I think it opens up a lot of potential. You're seeing teams do this more and more, where the sort of the flex support will be playing something like Widowmaker, Hanzo, Soldier 76 sometimes, like Harry Hook especially likes to play Soldier 76 a lot. You see this happen like very often, where they will just run the mono support, especially on this map, but it's started creeping in more and more on other maps. Envy or Dallas Fuel. Like, this is where it gets confusing because you have a player called Envy. Dallas used to be called Envy. But Dallas like doing this on defense on a lot of maps as well. So we're starting to sort of see this pop up more and more. It's exciting to me because, oh my god, the bitrate. We're on source. More source. Raw source. Anyway, go catch up. It's exciting to me because it opens up many options, many options in terms of like how you can run things, and you get it seeing these like double sniper lineups. Part of the reason why I actually don't mind the Hanzo on this point is I think Hanzo is extremely strong at this moment. He's just very good at sort of blowing up tanks. So you blow down the barrier, you fire a scatter arrow in, you kill a tank instantaneously. Really good way of using him. I think he's also okay at this transition point where you're trying to, like, this is sort of the tricky part. And what you can use Hanzo for is you can sort of take momentum over, and you can either, like, if you don't have huge amounts of momentum coming through here, you can use Hanzo to sort of run up here and start taking over this space, while your Widowmaker sort of takes over this space over here, and then your Bastion just sails on through, uncontested. And that's very nice. So like, you don't want to fight a Hanzo in this room here because it's so small and enclosed that Scatter Arrow is pretty much guaranteed to kill someone, and so it just sort of sets the team up nicely. Mono support is mostly viable because of res. We'll see. Like, we've seen mono support Ana being played in the past. I don't think it's just purely because of res. I do think that the power of Mercy is a part of it, but I think that you could, in theory, run mono support on other comps as well. So this is where it gets scary. Like, I like the fact that Taimu's poking out around here as well. Like, this, to me, this window is like the key of this part of Junkertown. But again, Hanzo is just very good at sort of sectioning this area off and making it very difficult. The reason why is this is the only place where you really get behind the Orisa barrier with ease. Nice job with the halt. This is why I kind of like seeing divas on this strat, because you can basically stop this happening every single time. Where basically they'll just keep sending halts out and just pulling Bastion off the point, just making it difficult for the Bastion to get anything done. And of course, the other advantage is that Hanzo could just make space for your team. But Seagull cleaning up, doing a good job. Taimu played out of his fucking mind on the Roadhog. Like, Taimu's Roadhog has become extremely powerful. And one of the things I commented on the video about, like, can you carry in Overwatch, is the ability to carry from multiple positions as well. Like, Taimu, I think, demonstrated it quite resoundingly that you can carry from Roadhog, for example, pretty easily. Like, he was doing a lot of work in this series. So just gets a lot of damage in, doesn't really get a kill, but hey, almost get something. Important to note that the payload is being pushed, or like, no, it's not, sorry. I think during one of these, the payload does get pushed, like, you can see Soon's on the Tracer. Oh, Soon Tracer. Yeah, Soon's put, like, yeah, sorry, I'm sort of getting my colors mixed up. Yeah, like Soon is just there. He can just push the payload if necessary. So yeah, he's pushing it now. It's like they're starting to push out, and then you just have like Soon just causing issues on the payload. It's cute. It's cute as hell. I like it. There is a thing that, like, I want to call this like the Taimu flick. Which is that Taimu just pulls people in just a little bit further. He always just turns people just slightly inward. And just makes it a little bit harder. It just maximizes that amount of time he has just to kill people. It's really cool. And like, Taimu has good aim. This is, like, that was so nicely done by Fate, though, just to sort of stay alive. Like, this should be, by all rights, a dead Orisa. And then he just survives through it, just with, like, the tiniest bit of shield, keeping it alive. Oh, look, Mercy's have ulted. Everyone just, you know, bide your time. Take your time. Take 5. Support ults, cycling through. This is honestly fine for Valiant, because they've managed to cycle the trance. You might wonder, well, why did he trance? The reason is Supercharger, I do believe. So you'll see Fate survives, activates Supercharger, and Custer drops super low and instantly reacts by ulting. That's because Fate's dropped a Supercharger, which is like, Supercharger is a pretty blatant tell of, like, the team is engaging, and then he's also super low, so it's like, okay, panic slightly, gotta ult. They're engaging, I'm on 2 hit points. Let's just try and survive this one. Sets up Valiant, though, for the next push, because they will have an ult available to them. It's a bit of a shame that Azilides uses Bomb, uses Riptire. Oh no, there it goes. But I don't think that's going to be too consequential at this point. Might have been nicer just to hold on to that for a second or two longer. Doesn't really matter, as they still, like, they won that fight somehow. Ow, what? 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 Kariv gets a kill, Mickey dies because he's gone to the low ground and has put his shield the wrong way. What the fuck is that shield? Mickey, what happened? Done? Mickey just panics and puts the shield the wrong way round. And then dies. To Fate. I'm guessing something else shot him as well. And what's your Mickey's hit points? Yeah, he's just being chipped away by something, but what the fuck happened there? Because the thing is, losing that, like, losing Mickey, loses a lot of damage on this fight. Taimu tries ulting something in the backline. Like, this just feels unfocused by Dallas Fuel. Like, if they just stayed and fought on the point, they would have probably just won that. They just ended up all over the place. Mickey apologizes after one of the matches, yeah. Like, mistakes happen. Mistakes happen. The key is to just not make them again. Failure is the greatest teacher and all that, but yeah. Mickey had no chance coming out from there. He's just gonna die. What I like that's happening now is that they've hit 3rd point. The hard part is getting through 3rd point when you lose momentum on your Bastion. 3rd is when Bastion strats tend to stop working. So it's nice to have already transitioned and have something else sort of rolling by the time you get here. Taimu again, like, why is Taimu here? How has Taimu ended up in this situation where he's sort of stuck in the back? Just felt like Dallas Fuel never regrouped. Effect is a god, don't get me wrong, but he's not this godlike. Hey, Dallas just need to take a breather. Just take a moment. Valiant do a good job, just falling back a little bit. Seagull gets 1. Not the end of the world. Like, Valiant could just wait. Okay, Dallas Fuel have had a moment to breathe. Okay, this is better. They have to be very careful because they're not running a Diva at this point, so they have to be a bit cautious. Riptire comes in, getting covered, I think. No, he's going around the houses. A little bit greedy is what I would say about that one. Like, and honestly, like, the team is there to cover it. He goes all the way around. It is sort of confusing Dallas Fuel and forcing them back off the point, so it is opening space for Fate to move forward. It would have just been nice. Like, I don't see why you can't just ram this one straight down Dallas Fuel's throat, though, with the right Orisa barrier. And especially with Envy having Whole Hog available, it make a pretty big difference. It's really, really tragic that the barrier didn't stick onto the point there. Effect should not be down there, though. Like, Effect should have free shots here. Because the barrier whiffed onto the payload, and, like, that should just be free shooting for Effect. Next fight is going to be a support ult Bonanza. Taimu again just getting picked off. Like, this just feels like trickling in. Where like Mickey and Taimu are just out of sync somehow, and so it's just not working out for both of them. Really nice job by Envy. Really, really nice job by Envy. And now that the fact that they beat out that res does open things up a lot. So Kariv, I think, starts festivity. So Unko goes down, which is tragic. Good job by Custer. Notice that Kariv is holding. Mercy gets caught and killed. Ult goes off. Like, they know that they can. This fight is now winnable, or they can just get resources out. So it forces Custer to use his ult. Ult's being used. Valiant have more in the tank because they're going to come in with a Valkyrie. The next fight is got a huge advantage. Looking good. So again, like, Mickey just seems to be out on his own. Like, he's stalling the payload, but it's like, what's happening elsewhere? I'm super curious to see what's happening elsewhere. Agility takes a chunk of damage. I think that's from effect. Yep. Unko could just bring him back up. Valkyrie's now providing all this healing to everybody. Like, they can just sort of roll forward using Fate, just steadily go. And like, the Widowmaker is very, very ineffective if she can't get a flank on. So you can see like how paranoid Kariv is. Agility's getting a kill on the Riptide. This is honestly, like, this is one of the things that sort of concerns me a little bit. Oh, I'm in the wrong mode. About the nerf to Junkrat Tire, because one of the best counters to a Riptire is actually the Conch Mine. Because it's very, very easy to just blow it up. Now that they've spotted out where the Widow is, now Kariv can start getting more involved in the fights. And like, soon it's just sort of has open field. And it's just a good job by Valiant. Valiant just feel more in control. Like, it just felt like Dallas Fury were a bit all over the place. Especially Taimu and Mickey just feeling like they were sort of out there on their own. And they just needed to like take a moment, take a breather, center themselves. Okay, we're going to do this. Do they snowball and take advantage of Dallas' mistake, or is the map to attack favored? I think it's Valiant, like, just do a good job of punishing, like, especially like Taimu and Mickey just being too far forward, and they just do a good job of punishing that over and over and over again. So again, you're seeing mono support coming out on the attack, just solo Mercy. Harry Hook playing the Bastion. You're seeing sort of the contrast between both teams. One team has the D.Va, one team has a Hanzo. Seagull Hanzo. So the big thing with the Hanzo, like this again is what Hanzo sort of affords you on this point, is when you enter these barrier wars, the idea is that you just break that barrier and then you just scatter either a tank or you scatter the Bastion and you just kill it. And it opens it up for your Bastion now because you have that space. And so this just gives them like all the tempo in the world. Who knew? Hanzo, efficient kill, like an efficient killer against a completely stationary enemy. Well done, Hanzo. Good job. Good job, Hanzo. And I like this sort of just very aggressive positioning. Seeing from the Widow and the Hanzo, and then they just drop back when they need to. This is where like Taimu as well starts getting dirty. Like this is channeling Harblu, I think, if I remember right. It might actually be the next push where he starts channeling Harblu massively. So he's just securing ground for them, drops down to the low ground. Starts being annoying. It's also important to note like Sonic Arrow, just very, very useful here. Yeah, this is where he starts channeling Harblu. This causes problems. Dragon comes in one way. Armu, let's call him, just comes in from the other side, and then, yeah. And then, like, you just have these guys on the payload. It's like, there's just no good options here. Like, it's just a really, 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 really good setup of just firing. Okay, they want to try and stop us here. Okay, we're just going to put a dragon across them, have a threat coming this way, and a threat coming in this way. Where are you going to go? What's going to happen here? You're just going to die. So it's just very, very nicely done. Effect is the only one left alive. Not Effect. I think Soon was the only one left alive, and Effect just has all the space in the world just to go and clear him out. And it just means that Dallas can now, like, so you can literally see how far forward they're going. Like, Effect and Seagull are just pushing. Harry, like, they've even set up here already. It's like they don't even need to take control of the cut. They've just taken complete control of the momentum. Unfortunately, again, Taimu just a little bit too far forward. Luckily, it doesn't matter because, hey, Bastion does a lot of damage. And then combined with Effect and Harry Hook, just laying damage onto people. Pretty good. Harry Hook has come a long way since he used to be called Nabridgeable. He's come a long, long way. So this is where it gets a little bit scary for Dallas, because this is where this team comp stops working quite so well, so they're going to have to do a transition at some point. Seagull can definitely sort of just cause a couple of problems, but because this is where like rotation starts to come into the map more, there's definitely a great big flanking angle. There's lots of ways to get above the point and around the point. The Bastion's going to stop sort of working, so you're going to see Harry Hook probably swap very, very soon. Agilities can definitely sort of try and blow this one open as well. You can see the Junkrat tire, just the threat of the Junkrat tire has already kind of slowed things down. Taking a lot of damage, so now he's being extremely careful with how he places it, and he's just going to try and do it. And then you get the limp spurt of shame, the kind of the fizzle out of nothing. It was inevitable to happen when it dropped to 2 hit points. There was no way. The really, really sort of nice position from Mickey on the supercharger, just to get it out of line of sight a little bit. Like Soon's gonna have a hard time seeing it, and then Effect, he basically uses it as bait and kills Soon. I think Soon was probably going to try and follow up shot and kill the supercharger, but Effect just kills him. Nicely done. Oh my... That hook is just ridiculous. It's just keeping Fate away from the point and then just... My god. Yeah, like Tar Blue. Tar Blue works as well. Agility swapping up to the Genji. This is where LA Valiant, I think, start going off the rails a little bit. Suddenly they start sort of swapping to heavy dive, and I don't think dive in this comp is going to work out amazingly. Infrasight just revealing everything. They know where it's safe, they know where it isn't safe. Notice that Harry Hook isn't on the payload as well. So the hard part about diving this is... I mean, one of the upsides is that Dallas Fuel are only running one support, so I think you can probably get away with diving this, because Harry Hook is just going to get focused down. Custer alone can't keep him up. Usually you might see like a Zenyatta orb on the Bastion as well. And suddenly if you have Zen healing, Mercy healing, Bastion healing, it's really, really difficult. But because all the focus goes on to Harry Hook, it just means Effect is free, do what he kind of likes. Agility is a good player, however, but I don't think he's good enough to sort of win this. Taimu's had another carry of shit. And there we go. We feel that Taimu's playing on the same patch, so that'll like Hook 1.0, yeah. Just dirty play. Like Taimu's McCree is really good. I'd say his Roadhog's gotten better. It's dependably amazing, is what I would say. So Valiant just gonna sort of try and do what Fuel did, but better. Fuel not opting to run a Bastion of their own, instead running double support, running a Junkrat instead. Just gonna try and spam out as to what they can. Mickey gets bopped in the face by, I think, Kariv. Okay. Ego, I think, takes an arrow from Envy's. Envy's just trying to poke over. Custer, like, that was just... I think that was more greedy by Envy, of just, like, trying to go for this. It's like, you've got a Discord, or he knows where you are. He knows exactly what you're trying to do. So, no shit, you're going to get Goomba stomped. The big thing is that Soon has made it to the point, but... Like, Dallas have done a good job of just sort of spreading themselves out so that the threat isn't going to come from one direction. Of course, Bastion and Orisa are at the best when the threat comes in from one single direction, so hey. What are your thoughts on Mickey on main tank slot when Coco and XQC are not in the match? I'm fine with it. I think I think he will be capable of doing it. It's either you have Mickey learn how to play Orisa, or you have Taimu learn how to play yeah, you have Taimu learn how to play Orisa, and it's like, you want Taimu's Roadhog, and you want to have a Diva to flex in and out. Maybe, is what I'd say. I don't know, like, it is a bit weird. You are right, it is a bit weird that Mickey is in this Orisa-only game, and yet is playing Orisa for it. So overtime starts ticking through. But the, you know, choo-choo! Choo-choo, all aboard the pirate ship. Oh, wait. This was originally called the Killdozer. It became the pirate ship when Arisa came out because it looks like a sail. Hanzo, demonstrating everything that I hate about Hanzo. Where it's like, these are some of the easiest kill shots you can possibly imagine. They are not looking at him, they're out in the open most of the time. Gets one because he's sort of nuzzled against the wall and only has one direction to dodge. Literally has clear line of fire on most targets. Still doesn't kill them. Hanzo. Tomo played Hog in Apex 1. I'm aware that Tomo played a lot of Hog. Like, yeah. So it's like, I kind of agree that they probably should have played either XQC or Coco at this point instead of playing Mickey, but they've now swapped out to the Diva, so Mickey clearly doesn't feel comfortable in that Arisa. So that is an interesting choice. Like, you're right to bring it up. You're very, very right to bring it up. Of like, why is Taimu and Mickey on the same lineup here? So this, again, like, this is one of those nice adaptations, or nice little sort of synergies you see sort of developing, where it's like, you know that the threat's going to be coming from up here, and if you have Widow and Hanzo, you can very easily just constantly have vision on this area. And so you know exactly what the enemy team's doing. So like Fate and Taimu sort of bait that out. That's also, I'd say, a failure by Mickey. Like, Mickey should be, like, one of the big duties that we're seeing from the Overwatch League is that Divas should be shutting down these halts, and Mickey doesn't do that here. Like, that halt should never have worked to pull Taimu out and then set up the kill very easily for Agilities and Fate. So like, that shouldn't be happening. And then it's just it's a nice job by Agilities just to clear all this out. Agility's doing a good job staying alive as long as he does get picked off by Custer eventually. Harry Hook doing what he can with the Valkyrie, but Unko activates his Valkyrie later, just gets the rests off, picks people back up, Supercharger gets used. The DPS increase from Superchargers is more than enough to sort of make the difference. Supercharger is, in my mind, a very underrated ultimate. When Supercharger goes off, like, it's very, very hard to fight a team with Supercharger if it's protected. And so this just opens up the game even further, keeps things rolling. And so, like, the mistakes that are being made are relatively subtle. Like, they're relatively small. It's stuff like, you know, Holt getting value where it shouldn't get value, where it should be shut down. You have a Diva, you should be able to shut down Holts reliably. But that just sort of doesn't happen. So again, Taimu, pulled, killed. It's like, you have a Diva, that shouldn't be happening. And because this hasn't been stopped, it's setting things up, like losing that Roadhog, loses them so much DPS, loses them the whole hog, which is going to be very useful for clearing the point. And so it just, the train keeps on rolling. Why does every team have a different approach to Junkertown? I'd say they're only slightly, like, they mostly revolve around this, what you're seeing right here, which is shove a Bastion on the point and have stuff that just sort of plays well around it. And just roll it through the map. And like, because that Bastion is such a pain in the ass to deal with, and again, Alt Hook. This combo has gone off so reliably. Like, I don't want to bully Mickey. I love Mickey. He's a good person, but just having a rough time this game. Supercharger charges so slowly. It's a really good ult. It's a really good ult. So Valiant pushed this to 6-3. And this is when you sort of start thinking, okay, well, Dallas Fuel kind of just walked through. Valiant kind of just walked through. This is going to be an interesting game. You can't just switch members. I believe, if I remember, the way it works is before halftime, you can't just swap. Like, you submit a starting roster. Then until halftime, you can't make substitutions. I'm not entirely sure on that. You might be able to just do it between maps. I think you can do it just between maps, but you have to submit a starting roster. But the teams know ahead of the times what maps they're playing in what order, so they always know. Okay, we're going to be playing this map. So yeah, it's like Dallas knew they were going to be playing Junkertown. This is where, like, yeah, Reinhardt starts coming out. So you're getting double barrier now. 2 barriers in front of the thing. No Diva, no Roadhog, crucially as well. The Reinhardt is just literally there to try and protect this Bastion as much as possible. Notice Dallas Fuel positioning quite nicely. Like, they realize that this double barrier thing is happening. Just watch the hit markers. What hit markers? Like, Agilities is getting nothing done. Now finally is in position to get some stuff done. The pull comes through. This is why I like having the Diva, because if you don't have the Diva, they can just do this combo again and again and again and again with the Orisa Roadhog, or just Orisa setting up anything. And as long as those halts are coming through, it's going to cause problems for your positioning. The next map, the team can be changed up to half time of the previous map. Interesting. That's an interesting way of phrasing that. That can be... I'm not going to think on it too much. It'll be explained, I'm sure, in full, or I'll find the rules and look it up myself at another time. Yeah, this is just Dallas sort of taking the time with it. I think this, I think the Reinhardt was a bit of a dead pick. Like, I don't like the Reinhardt pick there. I don't see the value of double barrier when, like, Dallas Fuel aren't idiots. They're not just going to try and engage in a straight barrier war with you. They're going to just mess you around. Seagull doing a good job with the Hanzo. Again, set up very nicely for second point, where they have the Dragon Strike available to them to clear stuff out. They're just going to start pushing forward. They almost have Infrasight. Custer can't leave the... Oh, no, he can leave the point because it's 2 minutes. That's panic then. It's like... Ah! They do use Valkyrie. Like, so Valiant have an in here. Basically, they have ult advantage. There's only one support ult on the side of Dallas Fuel, and it's being used. So Valiant have a big sort of in at this point. They swap off Envy onto... Like, Envy's swapped for the third time now, gone off Diva onto the Roadhog, because they want to have that extra damage, they want to have the ability to smash shields down. I like the fact that Dallas Fuel do continually like do this of setting up ahead. Effect has managed to build up Infrasight, so they know where the enemy's coming from. And again, it's just... This combo is just getting way too much value. Way too much value. And I think one of the things you're going to see is if Orisa stays in meta, you are going to see Diva, like the value of just defense matrixing those continually is super, super high. And I think the Koreans have realized this, because what I saw out of Seoul Dynasty is they just continually have these Divas available just to consume halt after halt after halt after halt. Now, like I said, LA Valiant have an advantage here. They have Curry was ready to go with the support ultimate, so they're fine. Like, it doesn't matter that an amazing combo went off and hey, like Envy and Fate managed to sort of pull someone away and separate them from the team and get the kill, because LA Valiant can just instantaneously resurrect him. Can you tell I am bitter about Mercy? Can you tell? I hope you can. Now, on the flip side, guess who has support ultimates in this fight? Guess who has Valkyrie available to them in this fight? So 2 people are dead, slow res coming out just to pick up 1. Harry Hill gets picked back up. Effect just comes back from spawn, because honestly, the distance for Widowmaker to come here is not huge, so they don't need to use the ult yet. Harry Hook has abandoned Bastion, has gone onto Zenyatta, just for a more normal match. Infrasight's being used, Dallas Fuel just going to take it chill. No unnecessary peeking. Take the time, take it easy. You're bitter about a balanced hero. Always. Just... Speaking of balanced heroes, have you met Widowmaker? He's best girl. There we go. It's a good job by Seagull. Like, that's nice. That is nicely executed by Seagull. Just like dealing with that. That's an unfortunate miss from Envy. Taimu gets the better of him. Taimu doesn't miss. Taimu has good aim. Agility still holds on to this bomb. Like, I would have liked to see this bomb come out earlier. Oh no, he did use it earlier. My mistake. I thought this was a bomb from earlier. No, it's not. He's just managed to build up a second one during the ensuing fight. Like, that's just really nicely done by Seagull. So yeah, Agility's has bomb, but it's too late. Envy messes up, misses his hook, and now Orisa is just sort of stuck, surrounded by enemies. Down they go. So now Valiant need to just win one fight. Dallas Fuel, though, do have sort of a slight edge, and they have one ultimate available to go. They also have Whole Hog sort of on the back burner, so that'll be able to clear them a lot of space, especially if they're playing into the Orisa. Whole Hog is very, very good against Orisa because the barrier's not going to go anywhere. It's not like Reinhardt, who can just drop it and then launch himself 3 miles away and then put it back up. Like with Reinhardt, I like to think of it as like surfing on the Whole Hog. He like just uses his barrier as a surfboard, just like coasts away into the distance. Orisa doesn't have that luxury. Widowmaker duels going off. Again, it feels like the barrier just isn't in the right place. Like that shouldn't happen when your team is behind an Orisa, but it's just like it's being deleted so quickly by Valiant. They're doing such a good job that hey, it's working. Seagull again does a very good job of stopping that mine, stopping that Riptide using the mine. So Seagull playing well. Like Seagull is one of my big question marks coming in because I mentioned this before, and like that clip has a lot of views on it. So my opinions on Seagull are pretty well documented. Which is he was an unknown, like in terms of he hadn't played in the professional scene for a long time. And so, like, how is he going to perform? And he's performing well, in my mind. He's not the star player, he's not the star DPS, but again, he's nice, he's competent, he does things consistently that you would expect him to do. His hero pool's a little bit weird, which makes so the enemy teams have to react to him. Timely shows us something interesting here. He like waits for the thing to like the fidget spinner to go around, and then sort of just jumps his way up. I did not know about that pathway. Many people don't know about that pathway. I think it's pretty cool. But he's just making it difficult for the enemy team to come out. If they try and push too hard onto the point, they're just going to run into trouble. Yeah. Seagull can now just back away. He's just going to bide his time. Probably just try and drop another trap or two in, and then just find the corner. Send the tire right in. Envy manages to catch it, which is good. But, oh, Jesus. Good stuff. And then, like, this is the second time this has happened to Kariv. And it hurts to watch. That's a full health Mercy. That's a full health Mercy. Kariv is full health in Valkyrie, and then boop. Like that can not be more clutch. That was just breathtaking timing. Just what a shot. And there we go. All pushes in overtime, 6-6. Oh baby. Oh baby. Seagull is great at killing tires on ladder. He right-clicked one as Mei and then punched it to death. Oh my god. What a legend. Yeah, Seagull has been... I've been happy with how Seagull's been doing. I am not like looking at Seagull with huge amounts of skepticism. I am, however, looking at like this... This is an interesting lineup that they're running. So this is like quad tank dive, basically. This is cheese, ladies and gentlemen. This is purest Gouda, purest finest Gouda. Just pick a target, run at it, kill it. Oh, soon. Oh, dearie me. You're not going to get anywhere near the payload. The issue that you face when you run this is that you do this, and they've burnt 30 seconds, and it's like... Now what? Do we do it again? Oh wait, Envy swapped to Reaper. Well, shit. That puts an end to that, and now you're stuck with this goofy-ass team comp for the rest of the map. Or at least until you can trade. Like, until you can sort of die and swap. This is like old Nip, yeah. This is ninjas, like somewhere out there, ninjas in pajamas are going, oh, we want to play this. And now the issue is you're playing quad tank into Bastion, Roadhog, Reaper. With two like AoE healers, but it's not really like mega healing. So Dallas instantly have to swap to something. The behind in ultimates. My question, like the thing I don't like about this is this aspect. It's the swap onto Mercy. Because in my mind, if you ran this team comp, but instead of running the Moira, you just ran Mercy, and you just tried to... Like, I know the AoE healing is super valuable, I know the extra DPS is good, but if you run the Mercy, and because people are running mono support on attack, if you just try and match their Valkyrie, you can have a more even team fight, because now they're going to have to sort of... They can't sort of contest this, or if they do it, they're just going to be trickling into a fight, into a team that's just going to smash them. And then it's like, the next fight they go in, after going through this point, all that's going to happen is Unco's going to activate Valkyrie and they're going to win. That's literally fucking it. Like, it doesn't matter what you dive on with this team comp, Valkyrie's just going to put an end to it. And so it's like, you can't contest here, or you're going to have a really hard time doing it. You're not going to win the next fight because they have Valkyrie ahead of you, and they have all their offensive ultimates ahead of you because you've had to swap all your heroes. So that's the next one, maybe 2 fights that you're not going to be able to take. And so it's not until you get to the 3rd fight, and by then you're probably already at point 3. And that's sort of the issue to me with this sort of gimmicky Lucio Moira strat that we're seeing pop up every now and then, is it's like, you are conceding so much long-term power that it's going to cost you. And I think it might be Dallas Fuel that run it on King of the Hill, where they run the quad tank. And I think I even tweeted out, like, this team comp needs to win instantaneously. Like, you need to just take first point and take second point. Because if the enemy team gets Valkyrie and gets Transcendence online, you will just lose. Like, you will never come back from that. Because their support ultimates are so much better than yours, and they will just outlast you and just sort of grind you down on the point slowly, build up offensive ultimates, and then clear you out again and again and again and again. And I believe that's what ends up happening to them. It's like they win the first push, and then they come through for the next time, they try and do it again, and it just falls apart because Valiant managed to build up the support ultimates and survive it. And so, yeah, it's just iffy. Like, as long as Unco has this Valkyrie, it's next to impossible, I think, for Dallas Fuel to actually take this. And so they're trying so hard to sort of find a position, trying to find an angle in, but this is Junkertown. There's no easy angles in on this team. You just got to try and engage them. Bongo gets dropped. You got Bongo, Reaper, Whole Hog, Bastion. The damage output is just ridiculous. It's stupid how high damage that is. You can't dive that. And then finally, by the time you hit point 3, okay, we have ultimates now. We can fight them. But it's just like, it's taken you so long to do it off this gimmicky strat that bought you 30 seconds. You could have bought that 30 seconds elsewhere. Like, honestly, sod first point. Just try and get an advantage off first point, and then just try and play from there. Either that, or you just commit fully to playing the quad tank, and you just go aggressive on them over and over and over, and do not let them get on the payload. Because the moment Bastion gets on that payload, you're in trouble. So they go in super aggressive. Agility just kills Taimu. But now the ults have sort of equalized, and now they can start clearing stuff up. Seagull manages to get a lot of value, and the weakness of mono support sort of starts to show itself as kills start coming in quickly enough, and Unco can't res enough things, basically. So, like, well done, Dallas Fuel. They did it. Let's see, Dallas Fuel have an attack now. Let's see how it goes. Skipping forward, skipping forward, skipping forward. We'll only do this match because I wanted to do it. So, Dallas Fuel. Interesting team lineup on the offense. The Mei is not impossible to run here. Valiant going to try and do the same thing, but they're going to try and do it with just a more robust dive comp, so they're just going to want to stop Bastion getting onto the point. You can actually run Mei doing this, and you just run Mei to sort of... Basically, you run Mei to cover the Bastion on the payload, and just get the Bastion there nice and safely. Not impossible, but opts for the Hanzo instead. This is like really, really nice by Seagull. Uh-oh, SpaghettiOs! Fucking busted, and then... oh... And that's just, like, that's the nightmare situation. But this reminds me of Route 66, what you see pros doing on Route 66. I would not be surprised if this becomes standard. Of just the quick sonic arrow into this building. Because look at the value of it. It just instantaneously pretty much gets them this kill. That said, the counter dive is good from Valiant. Like, Valiant just go fully in and manage to get a lot of work done. So, like, killing that Bastion is huge because now they can actually hold this place pretty aggressively. They just have to be a bit careful about effect, but yeah. Like, it was very nicely done by Valiant to sort of bounce back and sort of still give themselves that 30 seconds. Very nicely done by Taimu, but like, what you're seeing from Soon there, I think, is like a holdover from how Rogue played, because Rogue used to do this all the time, where it's like, they would lose a fight, but you wouldn't gain much payload ground, because they would just sort of stagger themselves on the payload very, very intentionally, and it would just slow it down, slow it down, slow it down, slow it down. Because Valiant know they have Rogue to play with, like, they have room that they can play around with here. There's no rush for Valiant. They're just waiting for this overtime to tick through, and then they can start doing things. Then they can start fighting, they can build up these ultimates, and get ready to go. Also notice that Valiant, like, compare the situation that Valiant are in now compared to where Dallas were. Valiant have way more ultimates in the bank that are way more useful than what Dallas Fuel had. Dallas Fuel were desperately trying to swap heroes to what Valiant have now with that sort of gimmicky quad tank style. They just got beat by literally one person swapping onto Reaper. And then Dallas had to just back away and run. So honestly, like, I would say Valiant are just fine, like, ults getting used up here, especially like Taimu's ultimate, because that just means that it's going to be much harder to stop the dive coming in. But yeah. Is this just the case of LA being better at dive than Dallas? This is the case of Dallas ending up in a situation that I don't think anyone has ever been in and will probably never be in again. The way that this round ends is spectacular, is what I'll say. Like, it's a very, very interesting finish to this, if you don't remember how this finishes. Because I do, and it's one of those things that you watch it and you just go, man, how do you fix that? Because they've been in overtime for a while. Like, let me, just before this fight happens, let me explain overtime mechanics and sort of spoil everything for you. The longer that you're in overtime, the faster the overtime wick burns down. And so overtime's been triggered for about a minute now. So it means it's going to deplete in about a second. So if no one's on the payload for a second, you lose. And so Mickey is solo on the point. Valiant just dive Mickey just to get whatever kill they can. Burns down. Res gets used just to bring Mickey back, but it's already too late. Look how happy Vala are. Look how happy their fans are. That's so cute. But yeah. It's just having one person on the payload. And you can see like Taimu and Kasa trying to rush for it. Kasa just doesn't get close enough, I think, because the Junkertown payload is actually very, very small in terms of like contesting and stuff. And so they just don't have enough bodies on the point. Mickey goes down, and that is it. That's not Mickey's fault. I do not believe that is Mickey's fault in the slightest. That's just very, very nicely done by Vala of realizing we can just center this fight around the point and they have to come fight us. And that must have been heartbreaking to finish that game with that. That said, I'm kind of glad it did finish because I envisioned, you know, day 726. We are still playing Junkertown. The scoreline has broken the UI and we're just seeing the payload run through the map, run through the map, run through the map, run through the map. Some of this was mistakes by Dallas Fuel. Just to harp on Mickey, like, I love Mickey. He's a great player. He just had a rough game this game, is what I'm going to say. Like, most evidence points to Mickey being a very, very good diva, but he just needs to catch these halts, because those halts were what got Valiant so far so quickly. And then Taimu was just able to carry a lot of what Dallas Fuel were trying to do. Effect was also just a goddamn monster all game long, and so Fuel just like pushed and pushed and pushed and pushed and pushed off the back of that. So yeah. Any thoughts on Fuel's tank Moricon, the round on the moon? Yes, I sort of already explained it, but I'll explain it again just very, very quickly. It's a gimmick comp, and it has to win in 2 pushes. If it doesn't win in 2 pushes, it doesn't work. It stops working. The issue with it is, again, is if you're playing into Zen Mercy with Moira Lucio, you will lose the second the ultimates come online for the Zen Mercy. Like, it will just stop working, because their ultimates are a lot better and a lot more valuable, and so they will just slow it down on second point. Also, the tanks on second point are a lot weaker. Second point very much favors like a good ranged hit scan, sort of getting on control on the high ground or just getting control a little bit farther back and just shooting stuff. The tanks need to just brawl on the point. If Valiant do a good job, or if anyone does a good job of just sort of stalling in and out on the point and just slowing down the fight, it'll be very, very hard to win. So it's a gimmick, and that's kind of exactly what ends up happening, which is the tanks get on the point and it just gets slowed down, bogged down. It's like it works on the first point, but I think what ended up happening, if I remember off the top of my head without watching it again, Valiant managed to build up a Mercy ult where they didn't in the first time round, and the Mercy ult just slows everything down, and then instantly Dallas have to change. And that change just sets them so far behind that it causes problems. Numbani backcap. Where is Numbani in all of this? There it is. If I remember it rightly, it was soon. Are we on the right one? Yeah, it's LA Valiant attack. Starting to advance the second point. If I remember right, this what you're talking about? Hopefully I'm in the correct place. Just before we close this out, because there's only 5 minutes left. I believe there's a final fight that happens here, or I might be wrong. It might be after this one. No, they contest, yeah. And I think Valiant lose this fight. So all these ults get used, everything gets used. Doopy doopy doop doop. Funny, funny, funny. Support ults alive. Mickey gets rezzed. Dallas Fuel looking good for him, looking good for him. Okay, Dallas Fuel managed to hold this. Reeve gets killed. Silk Throw gets killed. Soon is still alive. Soon is here. Hello, Soon. No one has spotted him. Everyone in Dallas Fuel leaves the point. Soon just goes, stands on it, caps it. And somewhere, Dallas Fuel's coach grabs his keyboard and breaks it over his knee. Yeah, that's just very, very clever by Soon. Like, just to have the presence of mind to do this. And I think even dodges Harry Hook. Because you can see Harry Hook just goes off, like, south. So how Soon skipped this and got to the payload, I don't know. Because he sees there, and I think he just went up and around and just sort of waited. The Harry Hook goes this way, and then Soon just gets on the point. You just see the colors change on the point, and now it's starting to slide its way in. And it's just like, whoa! Yeah, I think Bamboozled sums it up best. I think I still have the... Nope, that's the wrong one. That's the sketch I sent. Where is it? Is this in the emotes? No, this is not. Pictures. Where is it? Videos, assets, which emotes? Come on, it should be in here. Okay. For God's sake. Position size, fit to screen. There we go. That's what we wanted. Yeah. SUC's reaction was just... I don't know what SUC's reaction was. I imagine it was pure frustration. That's also a very, very good emote for it. But yeah, that probably sums up quite nicely what ended up happening. Sort of dealing with this giant Lucio. Oh god. Anyway, thank you guys for watching to the end. This has been Probing the Many. Probably 2 parts of it. I'll probably just upload both as separate components onto the YouTubes. If you are watching on YouTube, thank you for watching all the way to the end. These are done live at 10 o'clock GMT on twitch.tv/ESL OneAmongstMany. It's all in the description below. You can go find it. Thank you everyone on Twitch for watching as well. You've been lovely. Go back like 5 seconds. I'll get rid of... I'll hide Lucio as well. Oh, you mean the spin? I mean that spin of frustration. I want to see his face. I want to see their faces when this happens. Oh my god. Right, I was doing my outro. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. Thank you, everyone on Twitch as well. Thank you for the support on Twitch. Those of you who have subbed. So that was a whole pile of you today, actually. It was very, very nice. Searcher Monk, Don Detective, Gunny, Missile Mage, Marenwen, XXX Kanoa, XXX, and Fipgar as well. Thank you so much for the support, guys. I've been Josh, one voice amongst many, and I'll see you all next time. Bye! Where's my outro screen?